Hey there, this is Michele Ho Lung, and I would like to welcome you to the 8th episode of the Sparkle Experience Show. Now, tonight I was supposed to have Eric Walsh, the founder of One Cell Energetics, and also a few more people joining me, but tonight there was an emergency conflicts. So here we are to do this Q&A. So I thought what I would do tonight is just talk about some of the questions that come up, all the time around different topics that touch on our very ability to be CEO of ourselves. So what does CEO of you mean? And to me, that is being able to not be reactive when situations occur and stay in that mode for a long time. And what I mean by that is where something happens, it triggers you and you're not even aware of what that is in your space, and other people sometimes are the ones who have to draw your attention to it, perhaps, or who have to get you out of that state and get you back to where your happy state is. So being CEO of you, it doesn't mean that you're perfect and you don't react at all. I find that there's still a reaction. For me, it's taken me many years of work, and I don't react like I used to, and definitely for the length of time that I would be in a certain zone of anger or frustration or angst or whatever that situation is. And what it is just being able to get to that level of self-awareness where when something happens, you are able to catch yourself and then shift and change it. Now that is a lot easier said than done. And you may think, well, that's not so important. But in my experience, and from what I have conversations I've had with many people, clients, colleagues, friends, mentors, this is actually a really key part, because if we think about that, everything is energy and vibration, and the thoughts we have a frequency, and also they can help you to move forward, or it can hold you back. It can even make you super productive, or it can actually make you sick, or stop you from worse off doing the things that really are for your benefit, because we have this thing in our mind, in our brain, that keeps on going, are those thoughts. And it can get very messy out there, very troublesome, because these thoughts that we have shut us down. They can, as well as these thoughts can actually keep you from sleeping at night. I used to be one of those people where my thoughts would totally keep me up awake at night, when I would be worrying about deadlines, about what someone said, what somebody did, and all of these things about whether you're worthy or not, deserving or not, whether you should have, could have, couldn't have, all these things that we place on ourselves, these judgments, all of these conclusions that are not necessarily true, and these things that we tell ourselves that we believed when we're small. And I'm covering a lot of different things all at once. I've been told that I go too fast for the speed of consumption. So Good news is that this is just a summary, and we slow down when we have guests coming on the show. But tonight I just thought I'd put out some, common thoughts, common conclusions to help kind of express what this show is about. It's to examine the things that we tell ourselves, examine the status quo, the things that people like to attribute things to, or credit or conclude. It's something that I think is somewhat frustrating and daunting when these things come up and there's no real solid answer that can give you a straight path to a solution that works and that is guaranteed. And what I've learned over the decades, through my corporate experience, my mommy experience, my just life experience, is that nothing is for certain. There are guarantees, but you never know what's going to happen, what's going to throw a wrench into the equation, what's going to be unexpected. Like, did I know that, an emergency would come up and my special guest wouldn't be able to show? No. But you just have to make do, don't you? You carry on and try and provide that value still, even though it's not perfect and things didn't turn out the way you expected it. It's about that resilience, that ability to go forward and still carry on with what it is that you intended to do. Maybe not in the same way, but with the same intention. And so this is kind of what I wanted to share tonight on the Q&A, is about what it was that being the CEO of you is. Perhaps what it is to also put your health first, to be able to think of your health as an investment of your time and energy into keeping yourself well. And what is common, what I've observed over the years, is people will spend money to look after other people more than look after themselves. They'll also spend money to look after their pets, their dogs, their cats, their best friends, because they bring them joy, these beautiful animals. Yet still, they won't pay and invest to look after themselves if it's not covered by their health insurance. They will balk at spending any money on themselves, because why? I think people have this feeling that they can kind of pull themselves up, they can deal with it themselves, they can handle the pain, the discomfort, whatever that might be, rather than spend the money on themselves, because they'd rather spend it on something else. But if I'd like to say something, if you don't have your health, you can't help yourself or anyone else. If you don't look after yourself, who is going to look after you? You hope there are other people who will look after you, but the bottom line is, you can look after yourself as long as you have the energy to look after yourself. But when you can't look after yourself, do you really want to depend on other people to look after you? So, and if you really care about people and you're looking after them, if you put everything into that and not on yourself, then how do you continue to look after them if you get sick yourself and can't look after yourself? You won't be able to look after them. So for me, it is about changing the priorities a little bit and stepping back and slowing down to look after yourself. And people who know me might say, but Michele, you don't sleep, you don't look after yourself. And I'd counter that with saying, I do look after myself because I know what my limits are. I know how much energy I can expend before I need to stop and take care of getting a little sleep, getting a little rest, getting some food. And food, I also always make sure for the most part that I'm fueled up. So if you want to keep well, look after yourself energetically. Surround yourself with people who support you. Surround yourself with love and laughter, and take the time to recharge. And so I'm going to cut this show short because it's kind of impromptu. It's not what I expected it to be. But I'm so happy if you're tuning in to listen to me ramble on about, as my sister would say, things that just keep on going, and she's not sure where I started, where I'm going to end up, or where I am right now. But in short, I've covered what it is to be CEO of yourself. So to cut down on that reaction period of time, the length of time of that reaction, maybe even to become aware of where you are reacting, because you may not be aware of yourself reacting. It's something that I used to do and not realize myself years ago, many years ago. And then we went into just about energy, vibration, and keeping yourself happy, and health, and wealth, and the thoughts. So we will cover more of that on future shows. We also had a bit of, I did do a short sparkle session for someone who showed up on the call because he wasn't feeling too well. And hopefully he got some answers on that. Again, with energy work, there's no guarantees, but it is a release. It is a shift. And with sparkle, there is always that underlying getting to that feeling of clarity, the focus, the ability to release and know that you are deserving, you are worthy, and that sometimes it just is a little bit of release that maybe a bit further on down the road, because you haven't yet come to terms with the fact that you may want to actually release that at this time. It's all in good time. I know I'm speaking in riddles if you're not, used to being in the energy side of the quantum side of healing, but it will all make sense if you tune in to more of the Sparkle Experience show. So that's all for now. Glad you could make it, and we'll see you next time. Okay, so what I want you to do is just try and relax. Okay, you don't have to say anything. And then I want you to just close your eyes. And then just notice and allow the energy from the heavens to come through to you, to your crown chakra, which is just where your top of your head is. And allow that to come through and to allow the energy going through all your body. Or just allow that energy from the heavens to come through to you and to go to everywhere in your body that it needs this healing energy. And just allow that energy to come in. Connect with your heart, feel your heart. Okay, and just allow this energy to come in. Allow yourself to receive God's blessing and God's energy, or universe, whichever you want to use. Okay, spirit, however you want to refer to that, but just this beautiful energy coming into your body, and allow it to go wherever it needs to go.